everyone. Today I will talk about micro-frontends or microapps. Hello, my name is Vilson and I'm also known as Beowulf by Brazilian community. I'm one of the Flutter community founders, which is our largest Flutter community in Brazil, where I've been a co-organizer since 2018. I work as a software engineer at F-Team and also as an accelerator mentor at Google for Startups Brazil since 2018. In the beginning, everything was a monolith, and a large part of the systems still remain in that way. If you have all your code in the same place in an organized and separate way, it will work very well in most of cases. But if you work or if you own a big company, the code base might become too messy quickly since there will be a lot of people messing around in the same place. So you probably have something like that. You have one website, you have one service that provides all your website needs, and this service consumes a database, and it works fine. But one day you need to upgrade the card feature of your service. At this time, your entire system will shut down until you upgrade that specific feature. Okay, I've been working this way since the beginning. So how can I improve this approach? We can use microservices. So microservices will help you with this problem because now we have not just one, but as many services as we need. So probably in our sample, we will have a microservice just for a cart, and once we need to upgrade this feature, it will shut down independently from other services. Therefore, other parts of the website or system will keep working well. Okay, but what does that have to do with building Flutter apps? Nothing for now. But let's go a little further here. As our server evolved to microservice, the spreads was also embedded to the front-end environment. So now we have micro-frontends. And now our web service is totally separated. Each part of our web service can be a micro-frontend that responds to a microservice, and it works totally decoupled from the rest of the website. And this is awesome because now we can have parts of a website with different technology having reusable parts on different contexts of our website or even on different websites. And what does Flutter have with all of this? Other application can be considered a front end. Applications can be considered a front end as what the user will see. We need to adapt apps structure to use it. Once we are in the mobile environment, we can come across both names, micro-frontends and microapps. But for now, I will only refer to microapps on this lecture because the concept fits better on what we are proposing. And this is one app that I'm working more than 3 months to have a good sample to show you. Let's go see how we can provide this with Flutter. Before we get into microapps, let's think a little bit about how most project works today. In most projects that I've been working, that I've been seeing, MVP or simple apps, the monolith approach remains as the most applied, not being an initial problem and not a bad approach. But if you well structured and having correct divisions, but is everything gets too mixed up. It can complicate in future maintenance and also become tricky to scale the application. In this approach, the code is versioned using a single repository on GitHub, GitLab, wherever. And we see many conflicts in each PR because developers can change a class that directly impacts another developer task. And this problem can be avoided with well-made architecture, but let's ignore that for now. The monorepo aims to separate your project in several parts. In the Flutter, these parts are named packages, but they are still being versioned in the single repository. In small and medium project, that's a great approach because the code will still in the same repository but more organized, making the entry of new devs, the long-term maintenance, and the possible migration to a multi-repo with easy. The amount of conflicts between PR will be smaller because each developer will work in a separate package. And that's my favorite approach because was organized as a multi-repo and had the advantage of having everything with him rich. And when we talk about multi-repo, in this approach we have bare separation and detailed views of each part of our app as each of package is placed in its own repository. Another advantage of having separated repository is that we can have teams, squads, separate, specialized in a single model. The only problem with this model, this approach, is that we have to be very careful with packages version used because it can cause a lot of conflict since one micro app maybe use a version 1.0 and other can use a 2.0. So we can prevent this using a package just to control all dependencies using this project. We will see this when I show the project. Optimum test coverage is essential to prevent that the updated of a module doesn't impact another module directly. So this approach needs management and develop seniority to avoid future problems. I've seen projects migrate to multi-repo, but due to disorganization and versioning program, they had to back to a mono-repo approach until the teams become more experienced to go to a multi-repo again. Let's talk about and what advantage we have with microapps. We have more than 6 advantages, but this is my disadvantage that I like to talk. Decoupled database, as we are going to have as code very separated, this will avoid a lot of conflict because each developer will work on a well-defined feature separated from the others. Less conflicts, true. Shorter adaptation curve for a new develops. Everything will be well organized. It will facilitate to entry a new develops and they will not need to know the whole app, just the part they are going to work on. Be technology agnostic. As well, we have separated microapps. Each microapps can have its own state management. We have his own dependency injection, its own way to organizing things. I prefer that the entire app use the same approach, but using microapps, it's very simple to change. For example, you can change state management of one module, and if it was not a good idea, you can go back to that micro app and change the state management. You won't need to change the entire app to see it was not good one. Oh, okay, best performance. One development idea. When we work with separated microapps, we will work in one feature, you know. We work in one module without having to run entire app. We can have a sample and run this sample to work with just one module. You don't need to start all the app to see some changes. So we have this incredible gain in the development place, being able to execute and test exactly what we are working on and how we are using micro app. First here we have a movie app monolith, and we have how I say we have a design system separated. Here we have our widgets, and we have a core that we have analytics, crashlytics, errors, and Firebase. And we separated this because we can reuse this in many modules. And here we have our modules that we have about, movie, TV show, splash, and inside these guys we have separated using clean architecture. We have domain, external that will access the external data, and we have an infra that communicate in our domain and external. And here have our presenter that we have our pages and we have our widgets. Why we have widgets here? Why these widgets was not in the design system? Because you say design system is have all widgets of our application, but why here? Because here we have the widgets that represent of this module, because these widgets will working just here in this module, not share with other modules. And so in design system we will put all widgets that we will need to share with all the application. And because of this we have our widgets that refer this module, in this case movie module. And now we need to turn it mono repo, and this is easy. How I separated design system and core. When I start my app, I separated and design system and core for to be easiest to move to a mono repo after. Okay, so we need, first of all, we will create a library folder that we will put our packages. Library. Now we need to navigate to this page. Cd library. And now, first of all, we will create our yeah, we don't have a dependency here for now, because all our dependencies in the pub spec, we separated here, all the dependencies are here. But when we are using monorepo, we will have other packages, and don't set all these dependencies in all packages, we need to create dependency packages to have just the dependencies. So first of all, well, let's create this module, this package, and here we create Flutter, create template packaging, no, and dependencies. Oh, it's not T, it's template. And here they create a package, a simple package. We don't need to have a test folder. We don't need to have this guy. We can remove this lib2 because this package will not have any code, just dependencies. And now we can copy these dependencies here and put all here. Why do you create this? Okay, our project was on SDK 2.12 here, so we need to keep it to all packages. And now we have this, and now we will go here and we can remove all these guys. Now we will import our packages that the name is dependencies. Let's copy here. And how this is in our package is in our project and in a local folder, and we can use path and point one dependencies dot dependencies. But how this is in the same level of our project, we don't need dot just dependencies. But doesn't work. Why? Oh, I forgot. We need to put library because it's in folder library. I forgot that. Sorry. Yeah, here it's working. Now we can use a Flutter. Let's back to the main project and Flutter. Okay. To get our dependencies, and it is still working, I guess. Yeah, it's working because we just remove the dependencies here and put in just one package. So for now we can create our other packages. Now we will create a core, and here cd library, and let's use the same command but not depends, just core. Core is a simple word, so let's create a good name. Let's put we are talking about microapps. Let's use microapp core. Okay, now we have our core. We can have tests, but now I will remove this. First dependency we will need here. Dependency. I guess. Let's copy this dependencies. And we are not library, we are in the same folder. Here they are saying that we create a package, and when we will not publish this package, we need to use this word. Yeah, publish to no, because we are not put this in the pub dev. You just put it in our GitHub. They are saying this doesn't exist. Why? Because I know this exists. I need to use this. Yay. And this is work. So now we have all the dependencies here, and now we can copy this guy. We'll copy all of this to our core. To be organized, we create a folder called source2 and paste all of here. And navigate to this guy, Flutter get to get dependencies, and it's work. But we remove this. So now we need to import the core here too. So we can come here and use micro app core, and here the same name. And now we will have too much problem because we changed the name of micro app. We changed the name of core to micro app, and this will broke everything. And how I don't have time to fix all of this, I will open the project that I migrate that, and I will show you how it's will be in the end. So here I have the all project. We separated we removed the design system and core. We have just the module dashboard, settings, and splash. Splash we need to be here because we can preload all things that we need. We need to start Crashlytics before the app is running. We need to configure our remote config, and we need a splash for loading all of we need. And yeah, now we have here our dependencies. So we have a module TV show, and we have a movie, about, discover, and we have our core, dependencies, and design system, and we have the factory, the folder library, and I separated here cost design system and core and dependencies, the three common packages that all modules will use. We separate here, and here are separated in modules that is a module of our app. So we have TV show, movie, discover, booking, and about. And here we have like a package. We don't have anything different. We have our movie that we export all the widgets we will use in other parts of an app, and we export all pages that we can navigate. And in source we have our principal module of represent this folder. So in this module we have our bindings. So we need here to register all the injections that we will need to this module. And here we have our routes, our named routes that we will use in this module. So in the main app, here we have a main module that we register the dependencies that will be global, and all modules can consume this. And here we have our HTTP client that we are using DO, and configurations and analytics, an interface of shared preference and the shared preference. And here we have our global navigation, global routes, that refers to our modules that we create here. We have a dashboard here, and we have a discover that here, and about and settings just here. And this we have our mono repo, because we have just one repo for many modules or many packages, and this is easy to work, because if I want to know where the dashboard is using, I can here and look for, and this is easy to know all the app is using, how all the app is using. But if our company is growing up and we have many people working in the same project, so this can be a little messy, and it's good to separate some modules, some parts of our app to another repo. And I create a sample too, and this is a little more complicated, but not so complicated. We we just need to pick this, to take this package and put in another repo, and I will show my GitHub for now. No, uh, yeah, no, I don't will show my GitHub. Now, so we just need to put our modules in one repo, but for to separate it repo, first of all we need to separate our common dependencies, that is a design system core and dependencies, because all modules will depend on this, and this the module can't depend the main app. And so this is the first dependency that we need to extract of here. Now I will show a separated I will show this project, but how I will work with this using multi-repo. So here you can see we have a main app that have just the main, and our modules is the same that we are using in the mono repo, but here we separated dependence in a package, in a repo, design system another repo, core in another repo, and each module we create a module TV show, and I put movie app to be more easy to find in my GitHub when I search of this. And here we have just copy and paste the module here, and we have too much projects to maintain. And now I will show you my GitHub. Here in this repo I have the mono repo that we have our libraries that I show first. This is the monolith that we have all in the same place, and in this repo coffee movie app we have a mono repo that we separated libraries here, and here in the GitHub I put movie app the first in front, the name, so we can show you here. I have a movie app movie that is a module, a new module, other module, and we have dependence core. We have one repo for each model, and that is it. That's back to the presentation. In the end, after and why not microapps? In the end, everything is not perfect. We always have to analyze the benefits, analyze the benefits, and also the harm that an approach can offer us. And this is the why we don't need to use to migrate our project to a microapps, because we can add unnecessary complexity because our project is too small and we don't need this complexity. We will have more time setting up. We will manage the data is a nightmare. We need to see our takeaways. DevOps is more complicated because we need to have DevOps for each modules that we have or each repos that we have. And work with microapps work best for bigger teams. So you are working alone in a project, or two, you and your friend, you will not need this. And last of all, I will show some tips. We will need to learn named routes. Navigation will help you too much. You need to understand DI or dependency injection. It's good to know solid. Is a good thing to know. You will need to know clean architecture is a good one, and you need to learn how to use uh, workspace in VS Code, and you will need to learn microservices because this all microapps will based on microservices. So you need to know this too to be improve your app. And how can I learn it? I need to look for too much reference, and I have very help on the community, and I need, how I say, I need to learn microservice because many problems that we have today with microapps was solved in microservices, and then we need to look there. And this is helpful links. And I have two helpful YouTube channels that I'm used to base my solutions. And that's it. This is the QR code. The first QR code below will show my social medias, and the second one will show the community. That's Flutter is our community. I'm starting with this, and I'm here because of this community.